Hello, hello, hello. It's been 2 weeks and we're all together again. And as always, I have to wait until the YouTube loads, which there it is, and then leap to mute it. I did that really fast today. Okay, I'm getting better at the instant mute. Just going to change my window screen. There we go. Okay, so hello. As always, let me know when you're here, when you show up. Let me know in the chat because, you know, all that big long delay. Thank you for joining me. And since I always forget to say it, because I'm the worst, I'll just say it now. Hi, I'm Patty Lyons. Welcome to Quarantine Live. Make sure to click the subscribe button so you get notifications next time I'm live, and hit the like button if hopefully you enjoy. And it's doing that thing again, like it did last time, where there is no chat, but normally you're all here. So I'm going to try what I did last time, which is do the pop-up chat. Because when I did that, all of a sudden, all the chat loaded. So if you're here, chat, because I don't know why this happened. This happened last week too. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. This is what started it last time. Hi. I chatted and then all of a sudden it loaded. So let's see if that works. So if you're here, say something. There we go. Okay. All right. Now I know. I'm going to try that next time. If the chat usually just like immediately flows, but remember last week, for all of you who were here last week and nothing was happening. And then it was really funny because I checked my Insta messages after we went off the air, and there were like a million messages saying chat's not loading, chat's not working, frowny face. So anyway, now I can see the chat. Hello from New Zealand. Hello, Julie. It's a funny thing that we're back again and big things are happening. So I know a lot of you might be watching a certain political theater on television right now and might not be joining us live, which I totally get. But of course, as always, you can join us later. Hello from BC. Hello from Denmark. It is cold here today. I woke up and I almost took a screenshot of the weather app because I woke up and it said 14. Like, oh yeah, hello, Rosemary from Boston. I bet it's cold there. So if at any point I do this and go off camera, it's because I'm turning up my heater, which you know what I'm going to do right now because I'm actually cold. It just annoys me because it's kind of a loud noise. But anyway, oh, hello from Chile, Montreal, from Australia, and from the Netherlands, from California. You got many different weathers being represented today. We got more snow, so it looks really beautiful because, you know, I love it in the snow. Since I can't go anywhere anyway, I enjoy having a snowy day. So there. Anyway, welcome. I was just killing a little time to let you guys all come in the room. I have a very special guest for you this week. And I think, well, I'm gonna ask her because I had a memory that I think I met her earlier than I think I met her. So I'm gonna ask. I didn't ask her yet. So for those of you who know me and you know I don't really wear makeup, I specifically still didn't put on any makeup because our guest today is a woman of many talents. In fact, we were chatting before we went live and I found out 18 million other talents that I didn't know about. We were talking about all sorts of Adobe things, which we'll talk about in a second. So we're going to talk whatever, yarn, knitting, crochet, maybe a little makeup, maybe a little Brooklyn, because my next guest is all of those things rolled into one. So I want everyone to give a warm welcome to Lindsay Vega, the brilliant mind behind 5 Borough Yarns. Hello. Oh, look at your fancy frame. Really? You did not have that fancy frame on before.
Yes, you gotta add a little spice, you know.
That's so fancy. Okay, so I have to ask you something because I didn't ask, I forgot I was going to ask you this before we were live, but then it's more fun to ask you now.
Mm-hmm.
We not met because I think that's not where we met, but recently we were both doing Christy Glass's retreat called Knit and Escape.
Yep.
And we're on Zoom together, and you were chatting and you were just so like, I don't know. First of all, you said you're from Brooklyn, and I was like, Brooklyn's in there.
Woo, 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 woo.
Brooklyn.
A Brooklyn all day, yes.
But then you looked really, you looked familiar. You had like a familiar vibe to me. But then I thought, no, probably she's just like that kind of person where you meet her and you're like, God, I feel like I know her. But
that's so sweet.
Were you by any chance at Stitch Up Brooklyn?
Yes, I was.
I think I met you there.
Yes, we did meet and we spoke. Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I thought
I was introduced into the community. If it wasn't for Michelle
Costa,
144 Stitches, I would not even be here today.
Really?
Yes. She is literally, she's been like the sweetest woman ever. And if it wasn't for her, I owe everything. That's what I feel like. I owe everything to her as far as like being introduced to everyone, because we bonded and she was like, girl, why are like nobody knows who you are at all? And I was just like, I'm down to meet everybody. What's up? And so yeah, she literally invited me there.
See, I there was just something about you that was really familiar, and I was kind of racking my brain. But you know how sometimes you meet someone and you think you've met them, but you haven't. But then I was like, wait a minute, Brooklyn. And then I could sort of like see it in my mind's eye. Okay, I'm glad I'm not crazy. Yay. Well, so tell me about that then. How did you meet Michelle? And then what were you doing?
Oh my God,
had you already had the yarn company then? And tell the little people, tell the folks that are here from all over a little bit about everything.
Well, about 4 years ago, I made the decision to transition from the beauty community to the knitting community. And the reason why I did that is because, you know, beauty community is a whole lot and shady boots, because I just couldn't take it. Like I needed a break, a mental break and all types of things just to get into my Zen, you know, place. So crochet and knitting, that was the thing that made me feel calm. And usually I would post pictures of my full glam and like accessories. And I had posted one with my hat that I had crocheted. And then that was the first post I put up as Lulu and Stitch. But Michelle, I was following her, I think, for like maybe a year into Lulu and Stitch. And I had posted something there where it referenced to Brooklyn Glamour. And that was where what I'm known as in the beauty world. And so she saw a post of mine that was talking about depression, because the caption was like, I'm always, you know, people say I'm always beautiful and I appreciate that, but this is what depression looks like. And she was like, I totally related to that, because, you know, some people think, and this is coming from the beauty community, like some people think that the pretty people or the people who look good because, you know, they're all snooty or whatever, but they go through a lot of shit too. You know what I mean? Like they're like really going through issues and having depression and mental anxiety, all of that. And I just laid it all out bare. That was like the first time I spoke about the anxiety that I usually feel. And she just was like, you know, you, the clearness of that, the relatability of that, like I just applaud you. And I, you know, I wasn't looking for the applause, but I needed to know, let people know, like, I'm more than just the makeup, more than just, you know, a pretty face.
That is so Michelle. I can see why that connected with her.
And I just, and for me, it's like, I've been through so much, like so much, but I didn't let it get me down. I just wanted people to know, like, you know, I'm a real person and I have feelings too. Like I go through a lot of stuff that I feel strongly about. So yeah, she literally found me through that. And then when she went into the Lulu and Stitch side, she was just like, and you make stuff too? Oh my God. So forget it. And then the rest was history after that.
Now, I'm going to ask you more in a second, but you just reminded me, have you ever heard of a podcast called iWay?
No.
Oh, after the show, I'm going to send you it on Instagram. It's Jamila Jamil, and she is brilliant. Did you ever watch The Good Place, the TV show The Good Place?
I've heard of it.
Such a good show. Anyway, she was on that.
I'm going to look for it because I don't remember.
And so the whole podcast is about mental health and it's a lot about the beauty industry because she was a model. And the reason it's called iWay is she has struggled with her weight for many years, and people, she has had all sorts of crazy, she would see herself in a different way than people messed with her head a lot. Hollywood was terrible. Anyway, so now she says, when someone would ask you what do you weigh? She says, her answer is everything of value. Like, I weigh my friendships and I weigh my excellent relationships with so that's what she asks every guest at the end is, so tell me, what do you weigh? And they'll say it's a list of everything that is of value to them and what they value about themselves. Yeah. It's really good.
You take the power back from, having to be asked that horrible question because
I got to send it to you. You will love this.
Please send it. I would love to listen because I listen to podcasts all the time.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so that makes so much sense because I can see Michelle just totally like, boom.
Yeah.
Like, you're my people. Come with me now.
Yes, I love her. I swear.
So did you start did you start with crochet and then move into the yarn company and to dyeing and into all that, or the other way around?
Yes, I started with crochet because when I was younger, my aunts used to do crochet. They taught me how to do the crochet, and that's all I knew how to do. It wasn't until 2 years into Lulu and Stitch that I taught myself how to knit. So I'm really a baby in the knitting, but I don't play games. Like I learned everything I could possibly learn, and I'm still learning. So I'm doing the damn thing. But literally 2 years old baby over here with the
Michelle also started with crochet, and she's still much more comfortable with crochet than she is knitting. She knits and she designs in knitting, but she would probably describe herself not that dissimilar.
Yeah.
So tell the folks, because I'm always aware that sometimes I'm bad where I'm just like jump right in and chatting with someone, and the folks out there are typing like, wait, tell us more. Who is this person? Tell us more. So 5 Boroughs Yarn.
Yeah, 5 Borough Yarn.
Okay. So tell us about the yarn company. And by the way, if it were me, I'd be like, forget the other 4 boroughs, but
That's such a New York thing to say. It really is.
I know. To me, when I see 5 Boroughs Yarn, in my heart, I'm like, this is just Brooklyn Yarn. She's just trying to be inclusive. Like I feel her on that, but I know.
Listen, at the end of the day, I rep Brooklyn really, really hard, but like I'm a New York girl, so like my New York people, I represent for them. I really do. But yeah, it's Brooklyn for me.
But I mean, Staten Island. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Don't at me.
My mom lives on Staten Island. She lives on Staten Island, so it's like a little connection there.
All right, so tell me about the yarn company. Like, how did you get it started? How did you learn to do what you do? Okay, so, I don't get any of it. Well, I don't get how people know how to do this.
Makeup for me was everything that I needed for my 10 years plus experience to take the colors that I did special effects makeup. I did all types of makeup and blending, and I would transform people. I did makeup for other people in their weddings. their birthdays, all of those things. So I know how to, and then being an artist, I just know how to blend color. So I was like, how do I take that and put it into the fiber community
I didn't think
and
about
do
it
it
that
my
way.
way? And so I was like, people always talk about oversaturation and things like that, but I'm like, but everybody's individual, so their perspective is what's going to be present in the yarn if they become a indie dyer. So I'm like, no, there's room for everybody. I'm gonna do this. And so I took the same principle I would on how I would blend my makeup. These days I do it a lot simpler because I just run out of time and whatever. But when I say you can literally go to my Brooklyn Glamour page, or you can even go to Brooklyn Glamour on YouTube and see all my old videos of me doing like skeletons and zombie makeup and fairies and all types of stuff. So like I do it all. And then
I'll put all those links in the notes underneath. Do you have a main website where I can find all the links?
I don't have my main website right now is just for the Five Borough Yarns through Etsy.
Okay.
I don't have a personal one of my own, but you could put all the links of the pages that you want.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But yeah,
that's how I started.
Stuff. Oh my, that's how I started though. Like I looked at my eyeshadow palette and I was like, we could do this on yarn. I think let's get it on yarn. So, then Five Borough Yarns, like I was supposed to open Five Borough Yarns in September of 2020, but I had to push it up because the same thing that happened with your husband, the same thing happened with mine. For the pandemic, they told him he couldn't come in. He works with Madison Square Garden. So he works.
Yeah, and there was no warning. Everyone in New York was just like sent home. Like he couldn't even get his stuff out of the office.
Yeah,
they told him no.
Everything was closed. It's like you're not going to a concert.
Yeah.
There's no need to, all the artists had to like, they're going to be rescheduling, I think, when they do finally open back up, but they had a whole roster of people they had to stop. So I was like, okay, we got to pivot real quick and make this decision to save our family, because me and my husband, when I started Lulu and Stitch, we were homeless at the time. So 4 years ago, we were in the homeless shelter system, and I refused to let that, define my life and my story. So I was just like, no, we can't let nothing happen to our family. I have to push this up. And even though it was rushed, I made sure to have certain things in place to not drive myself nuts. I was like, okay, we're going to launch and we're going to do 10 or 8 colors and see what happens. Let's just throw it out there. And I'm so thankful and so grateful to the community, the small amount of the community that I knew, because when I say they showed up for me, they really did show up for me. I wouldn't be able to do Five Borough Yarns at all if it wasn't for the knitting community, the crochet community. I really appreciate every single person that purchases from me, because I feed my family like this. I pay my bills like this. I am not homeless because of this. So when you support me, you're supporting my 4 sons and this family, and supporting me literally living every day.
Okay, and I can totally see why Michelle was like, you are my people.
Yeah.
Because, our girl's gone through, gone through some stuff too,
It's not easy living in New York at all. It's super expensive, but I come from a time when, New York was livable. So transitioning through that is not easy at all.
Yeah, I mean, what's happened in Brooklyn is
listen, I go there and I'm like, but where's everything at? Because it looks different to me.
Yeah, so. It's crazy pants. Yeah. I know.
But back to this yarn. Let me show you.
Yeah. Okay, you guys, guess what? We get to see things that no one else has seen. I haven't even seen it yet. I'm going to see it for the first time with all of you. I'm so excited.
Okay, so Friday, a shop update for the new collection, and it's called Love and R&B, because February, Black History Month, and R&B music is my jam. And so I'm translating songs into yarn. And I revealed 3 colors last week, and this week I'm revealing the rest because obviously Friday is going to come out. So I just posted one up, and the one that I posted, and these are new, these nobody has seen these unless you've been on my page. This one is Purple Rain.
I'm going to pin this so it's big. Oh, what's that one called?
Purple Rain.
Oh, shut up.
Prince, yes, the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Purple Rain, my jam.
Wait, can you spin it again? Oh, wow. And what's the fiber? There's such a sheen to that.
This one is our 8525. I mean, no, 8515. And it's superwash merino.
Wow, that is
And
gorgeous.
it's so like the way that I like to dye the yarn is I like to break color. So this is like 5 different shades of purple, but when I break the color, other colors within the dye comes out. So like red, blue, whatever else is like makes the dye up or the pigment together. I break them so that you can see it pop up inside the yarn.
So when you say
red,
when you say break the color, what does that mean exactly?
Basically utilizing the temperature of the water and dipping the yarn, or like having the yarn dyed at certain temperatures, because certain colors come out at certain temperatures. So if you want it, like say if you have the dye in the pot and you want it to be a solid purple, you would make sure that the water is at the highest temperature for that dye to come out that way and it be uniform. But if you want to break the color and you want to use several different shades, you can start off with the water cool and then let it boil up.
But see, so how'd you learn all that? That doesn't have anything to do with makeup.
Well, to tell you the truth, I literally, I think I kept all the yarn that I did first, and when I tested it, I just played for a little while. And when I realized that that was something you could do, and I also did a lot of research before I even touched dye, I was like, okay, let's play with the temperature because this is what I want to do. And then, yeah, so we come up with colorways like this where you can see the peaks of the blue inside the violet or the lavender or the lilac or whatever, and then the red inside some of the purple.
Yeah.
So like all of that comes up and it just gives you this goodness.
Now, if you have I know you're doing it on songs, but you know, we lost one of our Supremes this week, you know, so maybe I'm just saying that. I'm just, you know, percolate that in your brain.
I can tell you what we have up so far, so you know what songs have been revealed, and then I'll show you the last 2 that I'm revealing today, and then you guys gonna have to stay tuned for the rest on my page. But so far, we've released I Want to Dance with Somebody from Whitney Houston.
Is Pam on? Oh, Pam is on. Oh, Pam, that's your color.
And this one, I wanted to showcase the funness of that video. Oh my God. It is one of my favorite songs to dance to in my house while I clean. So I'm like, I want to dance with somebody. I just had to.
My husband sets an alarm on his phone because he's a copy editor. So he's just at his computer all day. And the alarm goes off and he has to dance it out. So he turns on music and he dances it out.
Yes.
So I'll suggest that to the Dance It Up lineup.
Yes, listen, that in my house, like we'll clean the house and I'll put on the music, or like if I'm dyeing the yarn, I will put on the song. Like it's been so fun right now with this R&B collection. So then the next one was Let's Get It On by Marvin Gaye.
Oh, mama. Now that it almost looks like there's sparkle.
No,
is that just the light?
It's just the sun hitting the yarn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy camolie. Crystal just said Lindsay's a great singer too. Everyone's saying,
I'm not going to talk about that. And then we have Let's Stay Together by Al Green.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yes.
That's some boldness. That's
For me,
amazing.
I don't know. It's the play with the colors together, and then the way I feel like it would look. I always think in my head what the person's going to wear, because that's what it starts with for me. Because I'm a designer. For me, it's like, okay, how would this look? So I'm
Yeah.
always thinking about the woman walking through New York City streets, and everybody breaking their neck and going, well, what does she got on? What's that? Because
You
I'm
know,
thinking,
I used to sit in Union Square Park. I would go do Pilates on a place in 14th Street, and I'd sit in Union Square Park, and I would always hang for like an extra 15, 20 minutes before getting on the subway with a sketch pad. And that's where I used to get ideas of shapes and silhouettes of like just like a blouse or a fun collar. And, you know, because New York is just,
yes,
you just sit on the street and look at people. You
yeah,
know, Christy Glass thinks about how she's going to accessorize before she even casts on for a sweater. She's thinking about like what eyeshadow would go with it. So I can see
yeah.
why she would, you know, invite you onto the retreat.
Yes, listen, that literally is like, because for me, from the beauty side, every shot that you take, every makeup look you do, depending on where you're taking your picture, you have to think about all of those things. And my mom, when I was younger, my mom was always painting, and she always sketched designs, and she went to FIT, all of that stuff.
Oh,
And for me, it was always about the look of how you're gonna look. She always said, put your best face forward. So I gravitated towards makeup because of that. And then I was like, but wait, but what am I going to wear? And sometimes it's frustrating being plus size and not having an option, or wearing something that's kind of like, but y'all could have put a little bit more right here, you know? And so I went into the whole thing of like, well, let me make my own clothes, because I gotta look cute. This is New York.
do you
And
sew too?
no, but that
Because like,
that was part of the thing that I was telling you about earlier, where right now I would love to work with a seamstress super closely, because let me say this, I have 20 plus designs. I have not shown anyone these designs because I want to make them and then go bow, like, here you go. And but all of the pieces that I will be making is going to be knit and crochet, and the sewing and the reinforcement, because I want to make statement pieces. And all my graphic design work and illustration will go into fabric to make some of those pieces. So when I say from the drawing to the actual digital design, or the actual hand making, I want to do all of those things and incorporate it together. So I'm like
God.
looking for someone that I can trust, that I can work with, that gets my vision, and we could just like birth a whole new fashion house.
Well, you're in the right city for that, because you know you're
Yeah.
surrounded by. And honestly, you know, I used to be a Broadway stage manager. It was my old life, and all my friends are out of work, obviously. So there's a lot of talent in
Yes,
the theater world,
there
in
is.
costume construction, that are they're out of work. And you know, there's a lot of incredibly talented hands in New York that
Yeah.
are waiting to do something.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
right now I'm on the search. I'm on the search for that.
when
I'm
we were
getting
talking before we went live about you know, the Adobe suite, and that you're like that you also do all of that, it made me think about that challenge on one of the seasons of Project Runway, where they design their own.
fabrics.
Yes.
That's exactly why I went into the digital design space. Besides being able to like create cartoons and things like that, I was like, no, 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 no. You guys can make that, do your video games, but I want specifically to create textiles that look amazing, or like look a certain type of way, and I'm the one who's like hand designing it, because um the good thing about Adobe Suite is you utilizing like all of the things that a human can't do, like multiplying images
Yeah.
and hiding photography within your design, and layering your illustrations, and like really making it something innovative and new, and like future, thinking about the future. So I'm like, okay, if we're going to elevate, I'm going to include all the plus size girls and all the other girls too. And I want it to be like, okay, there's one statement piece that they're walking down this New York block with, or wherever city they're from, and they stop traffic, period, because we're fabulous and we all look good and we all deserve that. And I want to put that into all of my work with every fiber of my being. So this whole time that I've been working and designing behind the scenes and I haven't shown anybody anything, trust me, don't think that I haven't been working, because I have. But
I think anyone who's talked to you for 5 minutes would not think, oh boy, she's not working on anything. I mean, before we went live, you mentioned like 79 different things you have going. Now you mentioned something else before we went live about other things that you're designing to go with
the yarn.
Stitch mark, yeah. So are you allowed to tell folks about that?
Oh yes, like
okay.
Right now, everything is in the design phase, because I will be hand making those two on my own and doing everything that I could possibly do, and have I guess small burst of shop with the shop updates, so that if you wanted to have like yarn jewelry or stitch markers or a tray to, you know, enter your room and put the fabulosity on the table, take a nice picture, you could put your work in progress on. I will be designing all of those things.
So it's like everything coordinated.
Yes, and it goes and it flows. I'm all about that. So I'm working out all of the little kinks right now. And as soon as I have everything done, or I feel like there's certain things that I can bring to Five Borough Yarns, I will bring it, and it will be under FBY Trinkets and Baubles. So I've already put the little logo on my page, so you can go see that.
Now, Jamie's saying yes to everything Lindsay's saying. Now, not to be greedy, because I know you already showed us one sneak preview, but you also mentioned 2 others. Are we allowed to see those?
Yes,
you have them?
I will be revealing them later on my Instagram for all of my followers. I love them to death. But I was like, let me give Patty some exclusivity real quick. Let me hook her up.
But the other 2, they gotta show up to the Instagram.
They do.
Okay, fair enough.
Because what I do is when I release a collection, I also introduce them with a video. And like I did that for my advent calendar last year, and everybody absolutely went crazy. They loved it because I put the Christmas songs and the inspo behind it in the post, so that they understood where and why I did that colorway, or what place I used it. It was inspired by to dye it up. So it was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. I totally get it. And I always want to continue to like give them the behind the scenes of it.
Yeah, I love that too. I like to know, like, because for people like I can't wrap my brain around how people come up with their own colorway. So I like to know, I like hearing that little bit about, what was the inspiration, where this come from, and all that stuff. Oh, I'm showing you my torn up jeans. Oh, well, here, there's a little art. That's
good, girl.
I took a little piece of t-shirt, and then I did a little, here, this is so embarrassing. I did this one just for the fun of it.
That's cool.
Because I'm not going anywhere. I don't have to see anyone. So I just took t-shirts, and then I did a little like blue.
But that looks like your own thing. Like nobody else has those jeans. So hello.
Because I haven't worn shoes for I don't know how long. I know what I was going to ask you. Where your Instagram name? Where did that come from?
Five Borough Yarns of. Okay,
no, so your name, your the crochet name,
Lulu and Stitch.
Lulu and Stitch.
Oh my God. Okay, my mom named me Lindsay Lou Vega. And my middle name is Lou, but I cannot stand it for the life of me. And sorry, Mom, but she knows that. My whole family knows that. The only people that call me Lulu are my family members. Anybody else, I literally will ignore you. So if you call me Lulu, it's not happening. Call me Lindsay or whatever.
Wait, so you took this name you hated.
Yeah. But this is the thing. I was like, Lindsay, you gotta get through your head that That name is not horrible. It's a really nice name. Your mom loves you to death. Turn it into something that you will love. So I put it into the name. But also because I'm really, really big on family, I love Lilo and Stitch. Because
Oh yeah.
yeah,
I wondered if that had any connection, because that's
yeah,
the first thing I thought of. And then I was like, no, you're just old.
yeah, the Lilo and Stitch thing. I'm a Disney head, and when I say I'm a Disney head, I mean it. Like I can sing the whole soundtrack, everything like that, to every movie you could think of. And Stitch is one of my favorite characters. And so I was like, it would be so cute, Lulu and Stitch. Like, and I was joking. But then my husband was like, no, but that makes so much sense because you have Stitch everywhere. You have teddy bears of Stitch, you have t-shirts of Stitch, you have coffee mugs, like get it together. Like that's perfect. And I was just like, you know what? Why not? Lulu and Stitch it is. And
I like it.
the first picture that I actually posted was a blue and purplish type of hat that looks like the colors that they use for him. So it was fitting. It just went.
Now, your Disney love, does it extend into Disney Pixar too? Or are you also like a
Oh no,
Pixar
no,
head?
no. Let me get it all the way straight. When I say I'm a Disney fan, like I'm a Disney fan old school, but I'm a
Oh,
Disney fan new school. I'm super nerdy with it. Like
okay.
I'm a Marvel head too. And there's a Marvel collection coming. Oh, listen, you just don't get it, girl. Oh my
Okay.
God, you
But
don't.
I gotta say
I'm
wait,
living
is
right
that
now.
is Wonder Woman Marvel? Is that part of the Marvel
Nope,
universe or no?
DC. That's DC.
Oh, DC. Okay. Because I was that I ended up not seeing it on Christmas Day because I was so disappointed that my friends saw the new Wonder Woman and were like thumbs down. And that made me, yeah, a lot of my friends were like,
Okay, let me give you
that
some.
was not an appropriate follow-up to
Let me give you
the
some love
brilliant.
right quick. Okay.
Okay.
Every time a superhero type movie, and whether it's from DC or Marvel comes out, watch it yourself. The reason why I say that is because there are gems throughout the whole thing, and a lot of it comes from the comics. But if you never picked up the comic books when you were younger, you won't get those Easter eggs. But
Yeah.
there is a whole YouTube community that has a breakdown of everything that's going on so that you know what's going on in real time. Like right now, I'm obsessed with the WandaVision stuff.
Okay, I was going to ask you about that because
Yeah.
so we started watching WandaVision, and I know for I know that I don't so I don't know those two characters for real.
Yeah.
I started watching WandaVision because I love old 50s sitcoms.
Yeah.
And so I know that I'm not getting
Oh no,
most
this you
most of
don't
what
even know. Like it's so real right now. Like the real Marvel fans and buffs are like losing their shit because it's little things every episode that
I know.
are leading into phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And because of all the changes that's going on, like us losing Chadwick and so much of the other things that are not being mentioned, like Spider-Man 3 and the fact that Disney just gained a lot of Fox entities. So they'll be doing X-Men, Fantastic Four, and these are things that they couldn't do before. So now the realization that there could be a multiverse and all the things that come up with that, like as a person who loves comics, that opens up so much. And because the last 20 years of the Marvel Cinematic Universe being so ill, like I can't even wait. I'm excited.
But see, so Christmas Day we were going to watch, and I think we had to pay for it. Oh yeah, it wasn't free. We were going to watch Wonder Woman, and it wasn't so much the like not getting it or not being, it's that Wonder Woman, it was a meaningful movie for most women. Like it was, the whole thing about the original Wonder Woman was about the movie.
Yeah.
The way they framed the movie was, taking her from her land and plopping her in the middle of a society where women were supposed to be able to do nothing.
Yeah.
And it was that juxtaposition of like, I come from a place where women are all powerful to this crazy time period where women are supposed to do nothing. And I had just heard that like, it wasn't that to come from that level of empowerment, and that it just wasn't. It was
Well,
a
the
it was a
reason why,
letdown.
like, if you don't know about a lot of the comic part of it, that is the reason why the second one feels that way. But I'm telling you, it's leading to more, because this gives the main character more movies when they introduce the actual villain from the comics and how she has to deal with that. So it's you guys always have to baseline remember that these movies are comic books turned live action. So visually, yes, it's nice to see a woman empowerment movie, but this ain't for that. This is not.
Okay. But we ended up watching Soul instead. That's why I asked you about how you felt about Pixar. And that I love that movie so hard. And I was disappointed when I heard that they don't call them box office anymore because no one's going to the box office, but like the streaming, the downloads, whatever, that Wonder Woman was like 10 times as much as Soul. Because I thought that Pixar movie was incredibly moving. And
there's always some type of movie that never gets the actual due it needs. But I'm telling you right now that it has less to do with what the movie is about and more to do with the fact that right now the superhero thing is a wave all on its own, a monster on its own.
I know.
But Soul is really a good movie. It really is.
Good. It's so good. And it, for now, for like what we're all going through.
Yeah.
So many of us have lost people, and it felt like the right movie at the right time.
Yes.
Anyway, for anyone out there in YouTube land who hasn't seen Soul, see it.
Yes,
it's amazing.
Healing. It's healing to watch something that gives you because if a lot of people they may not talk out loud about the things that they believe in, but it's nice to know that there's somewhere heavenly that your family are going to, and that one day you'll see them again, and that their souls are happy. Like, you want that to be the thing, So,
and I just think the whole the vision, with you talking about all the artwork you do and all the, I thought the visual world that they created, how they, like when the flat, the like draw, they almost look like a drawing, those flat drawings where I just thought it was amazing. Anyway, Becky says Soul was awesome. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, and so for me, Dick Van Dyke or Lucy's Bedroom, talking about WandaVision. Yes, I noticed some of the kitchen dining room stairway of WandaVision resembles, if not was, Bewitched. So WandaVision, for me, from where my world of being a kid watching those old sitcoms.
Yes.
Did you know that Dick Van Dyke is the consultant on that show? That's
amazing. That's perfect.
They hired Dick Van Dyke to consult on WandaVision to get the style of that comedy perfect.
I mean, you would need someone with that that eye that was there to make it authentic. You need that.
Yeah. That blew my mind. And then I saw there was an interview and they asked him, like, how familiar were now I'm going to screw it up. Even I had to look up the acronym for, not acronym, but the abbreviation for like the Marvel universe. They say like maybe it's just the
MCU.
MCU. Thank you. MCU. Yeah. That's what it said in the article, that they said, how familiar are you with the MCU? And he was like, I don't know what that is. Yeah. Oh, the Marvel comic universe. And he said, I still don't know what that is.
That's true. That's true. Yep. A lot of older people don't know a lot about it because, I mean, they've heard of it, like in comics, but you say cinematic universe, they're like, what? Because they don't realize that it actually has gotten to the big screen, especially if they're not watching TV and, they're doing their thing that they're into.
Yeah.
So it's funny.
Oh God. I'm so when now I'm sorry, my brain is still on that other yarn. When the other two that we're not allowed to see yet, when do we get to see them on the Instagram?
You will see them later today, but you are allowed to see them now.
I am allowed to see them now?
Yes.
I thought we had to wait for Instagram.
No, I said my followers will get the post later, and then I was bringing this exclusively to show you.
Oh my God, yes, can I see the other two? Wait, I'm gonna pin you again, because I wanna see it big.
This next color is based off the song Have You Ever by Brandy. And it's off of a scene in the video where she's like standing in front of a pool and she's just black girl magic, beautiful. She has this beautiful colored lip. Her flower is just the whole scene. And this yarn is dedicated to that scene in that song. And it looks like this.
Wow.
And yeah, so this one's called Have You Ever?
Have you ever? And my answer is no. I have never.
And so on the same page with the fact, first of all, this list is like, it was so hard to create yarn for this list, because I was like, how do we dwindle down R&B music to just specific songs that I just was like, yo, I can't. So I had to have my husband like really help me. It was really, really hard. But this next one is by the Queen, Janet Jackson, for her song.
That's Miss Jackson to you.
Yes, Miss Jackson, if you're nasty.
Just thought I'd throw that in.
Oh my God. See, look, right now my mind is completely blown because I was just saying her song in my mind and I can't get it out. Oh yeah, That's the Way Love Goes.
Oh, that's another one for Pam. Pam, wait, is Pam still here? That's a second colorway that would look great on a friend of mine who's probably here somewhere. Oh my God.
See, my mind, like when I say the music has been playing in my house, so don't mind me. My mind is really warped right now, but That's the Way Love Goes. And in that video, the tone of the video is like chocolate browns, mustard yellows, like a burnt orange, like all of those tones. But I was like, I love the yellow tone of that video and the group friendliness, the whole thing. So this warm color I had to, it literally looks like liquid gold with touches of brown.
Wow.
I love it.
That is amazing. You know, you could probably even break it down just from like decades. You know, you could do like
from the 70s.
Oh, what was that? What was it? We'll bring that up again.
Two from the 70s. Let's Stay Together and the Al Green song, sorry. And then this is the two from the 80s with Whitney Houston and Prince. And then this is from the 90s, Brandy and Janet Jackson. So we have the 2010s and now the 2020s to look forward to. So we have four more.
And you could, you know, someday at some point, you could go farther back.
Oh, yes.
You could hit, you know, you could give us a little 60s Motown action.
There's going to be a lot of part 2 collections coming out, you know, in months ahead, but I'm literally planned out all the way till the end of 2021 for collections. And I'm saying this now because probably a lot of people will get to see and hear that my Advent this year is going up in May, because that's how extravagant and nice and over the top I plan months in advance. I do it months in advance. So yeah.
That's why I've not you seem to have gained mojo during the pandemic, whereas I have fully lost it. Like I'm really struggling to get anything accomplished. I'm struggling to keep my focus. You seem like hyper focused.
You know what?
Whereas the rest of us are losing our focus.
I had I have a lot of conversations with my husband and with a lot of my friends, because there is a big difference when all you know how to do is survive. And when you come from a place of like I don't ever want people to mistake it like I'm insensitive or I don't understand. But when I am faced with not being able to take care of my family, that's when everything goes into hyperdrive for me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, now you got to buckle down and show the world what you're made of, because your life depends on it. So that's where that's coming from. For me, it's like when the pandemic hit, I was like, okay, a few things. If all of this goes to shit, what do I have to show for myself other than the fact that I'm a mom and a wife? I wasn't comfortable with just what I was doing up until that point. And I was like, I need to show people what I'm working with and do what Nancy Ricci said from Getting Pearly with It. She's like, girl, you belong here. Show up. Show them your stuff, girl. So I was like, I will take that and I will run with it for real. And the pandemic, the reason why it just puts a battery in my back is because I don't want to fail. I don't. And failure comes with success, and failure comes with with you trying. I get, and I will take small losses, but my family is not up for sale. I will not ever put them on the line. If I could do something to break my back to do it for them, I'm going to, with all of my being. Like, I fought for them to be here when I was giving birth and almost lost them. I will fight to no end for my sons. So that is why I'm super hype about it. They watch everything I do, like everything. And when I'm creating, they ask me what I'm doing. I include them. They ask me about colors. They ask me about what song or what artist or whatever it is that I'm doing. Mom, who's that? Mom, did you finish your sweater? Mom, did you paint? Can I paint with you today? And I'm like, yes. So when I'm painting, so that they won't interrupt the process, I give them everything that I got. They have their own in front of them, and then they go hamburger. So my room walls are covered in their paintings next
How
to
old?
mine. My youngest is going to be 7.
Ooh.
Then that's Ryan, and Nasir is going to be 8. Prince Saeed is going to be 11, and I have a 15-year-old son named Philip.
That is a full house, man.
Yes.
I mean, I hear it from, well, my own mom in a way when I was a kid, but from other moms too, that idea of like, well, and from my very, 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 very dear friend of mine who has 3 kids and who has been handed a lot of more than any single human should have ever been handed. A lifetime of things that is not fair, and there's no slowing her down. And she doesn't have time. She doesn't have time. Doesn't have time for that.
That is like my worst fear. So when I tell you I'm purposeful, like every day of the things that I do, because if and nothing else, if I run out of time, my children know everything that I know. So I've left them the knowledge. I leave it with them because if I can't carry it on, you can. My mom, I witnessed my mom go through so many things, and my mother is no joke. She don't take shit from nobody. So she's my best friend. Like, why wouldn't I learn how to be the best mom and like super fabulosity if it wasn't for my mother? My mother is everything. So,
when my mom was moving, she had a box of all of our things from when we were kids, drawings from school and assignments and all this stuff. And she didn't have time to store it, anything. And so she gave each one of the kids our box full of stuff, and we could go through it. And I kept a couple things. I did a drawing of a sheep when I was 5 years old. And I was like, oh, I like sheep even then. But I found this assignment where I was supposed to write about my hero. And I was 7, I think. And I wrote about that my hero was my mom. And I photographed it and I sent it to my friend because she didn't believe me. She was always so worried that her kids were, judging her or having, unhappy because they couldn't have all the same things that their friends had.
Yeah.
And I always said, like, no, your kids are smarter than that. They see, they know what you're doing. And I couldn't believe at 7 years old, I wrote this thing saying how, we didn't have enough money to heat the house. But so my mom made things fun. We pulled a mattress into the living room in front of the fireplace, and that's where we eat dinner and watch TV. And it's so much more fun that way.
Yes.
And my mom made it a game of good meal, bad meal, because that's what we did to save money. We would have like roast beef one night and then breakfast for dinner the next. And we called it good meal, bad meal. But for us as kids, we didn't think breakfast for dinner was bad meal. We freaking loved breakfast for dinner, right? That was like our favorite. So I photographed it. And one of the things I said was like something about even when we can't afford to have something or do something, like mom makes it fun.
Yeah.
And
I totally can relate.
And I think she believed me then when she saw, not through the voice of an adult, me saying, I swear your kids think this, but the voice of a kid.
Yeah. It's crazy because my husband and I always have like, our kids go to bed like at a certain time because we want them to be like well rested. They wake up super early in the morning. So they go to bed no later than 8:30 at night. And so we usually have like a good 5 to 6 hours before we're completely knocked out. And we have moments where we could literally just talk about everything that's going on with the kids and all of that. And I used to tell my husband all the time, like, oh my God, like I want to be important. I want my kids to be proud of me. I don't know if I'm doing everything that I can, always putting this crazy amount of pressure on myself. And then one day my son, Prince Saeed, he's literally the sweetheart out of my children. Like he's super, super sweet. And he's the artist out of all of the 4 boys. And he drew a picture of me. He has a book that talks about important people in history. And he replicated what that page looks like in the book. So it says, this person in history is important because, and then he put a banner at the bottom, and then me in a blue dress, because blue is my favorite color, and my hair in a bun. They always draw me with a bun because that's what I normally wear. And he said, this person is important in history because she's my mom. And she is the best artist. And she cooks me all my favorite meals. And like he kept going on and on about all the things that I wouldn't even think was super important. Like she's there for me when I'm super sad, and she always gives me encouragement. And I took a picture of the page because it made me absolutely bowl. And I was just like, that moment is when I said I'm successful, because he sees me like a person in history that was important, alongside the people in that book. Like I'm not,
kids see stuff.
you know what I'm saying? I'm not Martin Luther King, but he put me with them. So it's a page in the book, in the back of the book, my mom is a person who's important in history. And I lost it. I was like, oh my God.
You should have a picture of that on your phone so that you like it, if you are having a bad day or you're feeling low, you're just like, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly what I did. I have it on my phone. And from time to time I look at it and I'm like, I got to remember that they look at me a certain way, and that to them, I'm everything, their whole world. So I'm important to someone already. I don't need to do anything else. If I do anything else, it's just gravy, but they are the ones that really, really matter. And for them to see that I work from home and that I work just like them, I go to school just like them, and I put an effort, they go harder, which, I guess it's true when they say be the example, because your children are watching you. Like they really do watch everything that I'm doing. So yeah, I'm trying to be important for them.
I mean, I think kids always see more than you think they do, and they understand more than they think they do. And the thing about like the fierce mom is, people from New York get this, but like I have never in my life seen somebody in the subway struggling with a stroller, trying to get it up or down the stairs without a teenage boy, usually like without looking at the person, like without, just picking it up and helping them. And then, they say, thank you, walk away. Usually like, I'm not, not making it big. It's always a teenage boy that's helping them, because that teenage boy had a mom whose voice in their head would be like, you help that lady. What are you, come on.
Yes.
And they know their mama would kick their, if they didn't help that lady up the stairs with her stroller.
And it's always, that is so true about New York. It really, really is. But what's crazy to me is like, I've had moments where I was struggling with, my whole life in a shopping cart outside with these kids. And I remember, all the people that actually helped along the way, and I always pray for them. But it's crazy because I go to school, like when the outside world was open, I go to college full time. So when I would go to school, it was 2 blocks away from the homeless shelter that I lived in. And one day I'm walking up the stairs on my way to class, and I see a woman struggling with her 2 daughters, and the little girl had a suitcase full of all their things, and they could not make it up the stairs, but nobody was helping them. And I didn't care. I dropped everything and just, scooped up the little girl in my arm and then carried the luggage upstairs. And I looked at her, and the mother in particular, and then I said, I just want you to know that where you're going is a block away from here. But I need you to understand that this is just the beginning, and the beginning to the rest of your story. It will not define you. I hope that you can hear my voice later and saying that you will come out on the other side, because I was there 2 years ago, and I go to school in this building right here, and I pass by there every day, and we made it out. This is not the end. Like, it was just full circle moments all the time that make me realize, like, the little accomplishments along the way. People beat themselves up thinking that they never do good, or like they never um do something of worth. But I feel like the deeds that people don't see you do, the good deeds that you do for others, that's what counts the most. And I hope that wherever she is, that mother with her 2 daughters, that they hear me and they think about that moment, like that woman was telling us we would make it, and look where we are now. Because
I was just going to say, I'm telling you, 2 years from now, when she's helping someone else,
that
she's going to have that. You said the good deeds that nobody knows about. I always think about this years ago when I was this rabbi said at a high holiday service, what man hears, God forgets. What God hears, man forgets. Meaning, if you give money just to put your name on a building, so that man hears it, God forgets. It's not important to, like, because you didn't do it for the right reason. You did it because look at me, look what money I gave. But when you do something and man forgets, man doesn't even know, that God hears. And I thought that was such a good expression.
That is the truth, because I am Muslim, and I am literally talking about the word with my husband all the time. And there's a saying where it's like, God, how did you make your money? How did you earn it? And how did you use it for zakat? Zakat is to give back. And basically utilizing your intention, right? So if you made it with bad intentions, that's a bad deed. But and mind you, if you think about a bad deed and you don't do it, that's a good deed. So it's just like all those things, right? Like, you never realize how much the words come in and remind you that your deeds are always based on those intentions. And my intention is always to make sure that someone else doesn't suffer the things that I have. I try to help them as much as I can, or give them some type of way out of the path of darkness that they're on.
And I think that every time I see a kid, and it's always, I wrote a blog post many years ago that was like an ode to the subway. And it was about all sorts of things. It was about, me being annoyed with tourists who are like talking about us like we can't hear you, saying like, don't touch the pole, it's dirty, and like, how do people live like this? And I'm like, we're right here, we can hear you, we're real people. But I wrote about something about the like the kids that always, those teenage boys with, you know, I said it's always like with wearing the stupid hat with the flat brim that I've never understood the flat brim. It makes me crazy. You know, it's like with your pants falling down, which is going to hurt your hips, by the way, when you get older. But anyway, and I said, you know, you're the person that the world calls a thug. I see you. I see you. Yeah. And they're all those teenage boys are always helping all those women because those women could be their mom.
Yeah.
And that's why they'll never, and they always do it with they always like get up to give a seat and they kind of act like they don't even see you. Like, no, I didn't stand up for you. I just stood up because I'm standing up. Because they're standing up to give you a seat.
Second nature, right? Because the assumption is always that that type of man or that type of boy is of bad, you know, always thinking of a bad nature. But meanwhile, they would normally their mama whoop their ass if they don't do right by the older generation in truth. So it's like, you ain't helped that, but boy, if you don't go over there and help her with her bag, and it's the truth. Like my sons know certain things, like if they see a woman with a belly, to get up, move out the way so she can sit down. Or like if it's an old person, let them go on to the subway or the, you know, bus first.
Yeah, and the kids never make a huge deal out of it.
Yeah.
Like the Wall Street guys, if they ever stand up, and by the way, they never do.
Nope.
They never do. The Wall Street guys never do. But if they did, they'd make a big show of it. Like, oh, here, madam, you can have my seat. And you know what? It's because you're getting off at the next stop.
Yeah.
We see you. You made a big deal out of getting up. But the 15-year-old boy who does it, he just gets up pretending like, I don't need the seat anymore. I don't want it.
He's like, I'm gonna act like I got some sense before somebody know my mama, tell my mama I ain't get up.
I gotta find that old blog post and send it to you. It's just so true. Anyway. Oh my God. It's after I've been gabbing with you for an hour. I could talk to you freaking all day.
Yes, I love that. I love that. I love all the friends that I get to have. It's amazing.
And of course, it makes so much sense that Michelle found you. I mean, everything about who you are, about what you love to do, you know, crochet, everything is so, it's like, there's no way Michelle would have not found you. It was meant to be, you know what I mean?
I'm like so glad that she did. I really, really am. Because she literally, like I say it all the time, that moment, she met me at a moment in my life where I was so low, and she brought joy back just by the connection. Stitch Up Brooklyn was literally the moment where the world opened back up for me. I started to breathe again.
I'm so excited.
The yarn saved my life.
I'm so excited to sit back and see everything you do. Before we even went live, you guys, you can't believe how much is happening behind the scenes. So, I mean, not only the yarn, but now you're talking like your future fashion line and the physical things, the stitch markers, and it's going to be an exciting journey.
I'm excited. I really am. I cannot wait to share all of the rest of my journey and all of what comes with it. I am open to always collabing. If you guys know any fabulous seamstress that I could get to know, send them my way.
Well, you should definitely talk to Michelle about, because she knows a lot of people, because she used to be in theater too. So you should for sure talk to her about that, because I bet you $1 million that she'll be like, oh, I know just the person, you know, because there are people that in the world that are connectors, that like to connect, and she's one of them.
Yes. I'm definitely open to all of those things. Like, the journey is only beginning.
Oh my God. Well, thank you so much. I can't believe we spent, it was an hour, flew by like 20 minutes.
It was the best time.
A little more than an hour. So the comments, when you go back and you check the YouTube, the comments take a couple hours to generate live, and then they'll go up. I'll add all of your links to to the notes underneath, the Instagram accounts, the YouTube, because by the way, I think a zombie yarn, just think about your special effects makeup for next Halloween's yarn line.
I will. I definitely will.
I'm just putting it out there. And we always have a little saying that we say to each other, and those folks on YouTube with the 30-second delay, you know it, so you can type it in. But when it's time to leave, and I have to get ready to, I always have to grab the button getting ready to end the live stream. But we have a little thing that we say to each other, which is wash your hands, don't touch your face, wear your mask, knit on. And in your case, knit on, crochet on, design on, sew on, illustrator on, do just on.
Thank you for having me, and I will
thank
do all
you
the
so
things.
much. All right. Bye.